Hey, what's up guys? We're coming at you with another quick Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion video, and in this video we're going to be discussing the Masters of the Spiritual Arts. So this is the namesake card to the Charmer structure deck that is coming out in, I believe, just under 2 weeks. So this card was kind of previewed by like what they normally do like as a press release in Japan a couple of weeks ago. And we saw it was a quick play spell, we got its name, and then someone in a comment said that it was a searcher that could basically search anything in the archetype. I couldn't find anything to do with that effect, otherwise I would have made a video on it a lot sooner. But obviously now we do have the effect and we get to talk about it. So it's a quick play spell that can only be used as a hard once per turn. You discard one card, and then you take 2 cards with different names from your deck that each meet one of the criteria that we're about to talk about, add one to your hand and set the other one to your field. So the 3 conditions are a Charmer monster, which are, of course, are the level 3 versions of the monsters, the original versions, a familiar possessed monster, obviously what you're probably going to be building your deck around, and a possessed spell or trap, so unpossessed, awakening of the possessed, and teamwork of the possessed. So that does give you some really nice flexibility, because it's not just, always add the familiar possessed to your hand instead of spell trap. Sometimes it can be search awakening of the possessed and set a base charmer. I mean, yeah, you might want to do that. I don't know. I mean, you can. This card does have some nice flexibility to it. It can also, if you don't have a charmer in your hand and you really need to get a pet out on the field to extend, or if you've got one in your hand and you need to get a second one, you can use this to activate, to set Awakening of the Possessed, flip that, and then you can use your charmer with your field spell to go get their relevant pet. So it does actually open up a lot of possibilities for deck thinning and kind of like making the ideal field that you want to make. Like, you can use this to help splash out Toad a lot faster. So if you have an area in your hand and the field spell, you can go get Gigabyte. Then you can use this to go get area, put area on the field, and then go make Bahamut Shark and go make Toad. So it does give you some nice ways to kind of specifically build those like 2 wind, 2 fire, 2 earth, 2 water extra deck Xyz monsters that you might want to make. This card is really good. I like its artwork. The downsides, yes, it has some downsides as good as this card is. There are a few cards it can't search, that some of which I'm okay with, some of which I'm like, why can't it search it? For starters, it can't search the field spell. We currently have no card in the archetype that is able to search the field spell, and the field spell is actually pretty good when you filter in all the other cards that we have, and especially in combination with teamwork, this card's insane. But I guess because it's kind of like worded, its name is worded differently to the other spiritual art cards. You can't be like, search a spiritual art spell or trap, because, it's grand spiritual art, and then it's like spiritual wind art, for example. So yeah, it can't search any of the spiritual arts. No big loss there. I'm not a huge fan of these cards. They're probably going to be in the structure deck anyway, just as like it's a good way to put in filler cards. It can't search the pets. That's not a problem, because the pets is very good to get off the field spell. That's fine. And then, of course, you have Awakened the Possessed, which you can't search, which isn't a problem because you can summon them from the deck. So basically, cards that come out from the deck, or cards that you can use to get cards out of the deck, you don't really need with this card. Fantastic. Gets you Unpossessed, gets you Awakening of the Possessed, gets you Teamwork of the Possessed. You don't have to just rely on, going into Awakened Possessed, Nefarious Eater, then make a Link monster, get him into the graveyard. It's really, really good. Another problem this card has is it is very likely to be ashed. So if you do activate this, you really want to make sure you have your field spell up. So I'm definitely considering throwing Metaverse in the deck now, just to make sure I can get the field spell out, just so I can stop like ash, because this getting ashed is a huge neg. That being said, I love this card. It's fantastic. It's an instant 3-0 for me. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. So I want to talk about quickly for the rest of the video the reprints that we're getting. So they announced, I think a couple of days ago, that we're getting Dimensional Barrier and Evenly Matched as reprints in this structure deck. That's absolutely insane. I guess Konami was a little bit worried about people outside the casual market buying this structure deck. I'm perfectly okay with these cards getting reprinted, because it means there's going to be more of the tokens and the playmats in circulation. At least in Japan, more people buy this, so those tokens will be easier to get a hold of. The reprint quality in this structure deck, which is really good, makes me worry whether or not the structure deck is going to come here to the TCG. I mean, sure, the Salad TD did have Ash Blossom in it, and that came to us here, so there was a talk that Ash was going to get replaced by Vela. One card that's getting reprinted is Santa Claus. I don't know why. If someone knows how that synergizes with the deck, let me know in the comments below. It just seems like a really random reprint. But if it does come here with the tokens, with the playmats, I'm all for this because it's going to be easier for me to get all 5 tokens, easy for me to get all 5 playmats. As well as that, do you guys think this is it for new Charmer cards in the structure deck? I mean, we still have at least 3 Spirit Mediums that have not been released yet, because we have Winners the Jump promo. We have 2 Awakened Possessed pets that haven't been released, and I guess Lena and Dark do exist. I keep saying they do. I keep joking that they don't exist, but I mean, come on, they haven't been featured on any of the spells and the traps apart from, well, Lena was featured on her spiritual art, but that was it. So anyway, guys, what do you think about this stuff? Are you super excited for this structure deck? I'm going to be doing another video going over the entire structure deck list when we do get it, to talk about ratios and everything like that. I'm super excited for this product. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I'm hoping we don't have to wait too long in the TCG. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you for my next video.